Hello and welcome back to SF a Giants recap. In today's video, we're going to be going over early Fangraph predictions for the 2022 season. Obviously, there's still free agents out there. There's still a lot of stuff that has to go over before the season actually starts, but we can still go over some of these just to get a little bit of a reaction. Who knows if the season even has 162 games? Who knows if it even happens? I bet it will, but it's a matter of when and how much games we'll get. But these are just the early Fangraph predictions, and so if you do end up enjoying the video, make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the like if you do enjoy it. And so let's get right into it. And so for the NL West, we're specifically just going to look at the NL West because, well, that's where the Giants are. And so they have the Dodgers predicted at 94 and 68, which is respective, but still they have to include that Corey Seager just left. Trevor Bauer still not 100% going to come back. And so there's a lot of things that the Dodgers have dealt with too, but they still have a really, really good team. And so the Dodgers will be an interesting team to watch, see if they're as good as usual or if they go a little bit downhill. But the Padres, that's the one little bit of a surprise to me. They had the Padres at 90 and 72, which they did get Bob Melvin as their manager, which had to be a plus, and because their last one really struggled. And so I think that will be a big step up for the Padres. And also Tatis is a super good player with Machado. Their pitching was a bit of a struggle last year, and so I think they'll fix that. They'll be right around that 90 win range, but it's a matter of if and when that will come, because a lot of things have to go right and for the Padres because of how poor they performed last year. And so now on to third place. They have the Giants at 81 and 81 after winning 107 games. Like, to me, I don't know. Like, yes, the Giants did lose Buster Posey and Kevin Gausman, but we still have Brandon Crawford, who performed really well. We still have Evan Longoria, who showed signs of coming back to being himself. We have Logan Webb, who is possibly like top 10 pitcher in the league. And then we have these young, talented prospects coming up like Joey Bart. And then we still have Kirk Sally, who's a solid catcher. We have Mikey Strzemski, who can still perform. We have Darren Ruff, who showed a lot of signs of power. Lamont Wade Jr. being clutch. Like, the list goes on and on of people we still have. And to put the Giants at exactly 500 is a little bit weak for me because I don't see the Giants losing more than like 75 games, 76 games, something like that. I see the Giants winning around 85 to 95 games. I don't see them doing as well as they did, obviously, because that was like 1 in a million. But the Giants, I just still think, can sneak into a wild card, can still put up great numbers, can still be that team that is surprising. But really, you put the Giants at 81 and 81. And so I love it because the Giants were underdogs all last year. Projections after being first place after the All-Star break, projections still had them sliding off a cliff, and yet the Giants just kept performing. So I really like mentality-wise that we can go in there and be projected to be this low and just overperform. But at the same time, Fangraphs, come on, you're better than that. Like, the Giants, they lost two guys who were all-stars last year, but they still have a really solid team, along with Manager of the Year Gabe Kapler and Farhan Zaidi, who can still sign a couple guys. And so I don't think the Giants are going to be at 500. We never know. We'll see, obviously, but 500, I don't know. It's just a little bit tough for me to comprehend. The D-backs, they have the D-backs at 72 and 90. Obviously, coming off of a horrible season, I think only 52 wins, something like that. That was a pathetic season by the Diamondbacks, and so I do think the Diamondbacks do way better than they did last year. Obviously, it's not that hard to do better than that. But in fourth place, I think it's fair. It's not much controversy there. I do think they do way better than they did last year. Obviously, not going to win more than 80 games at max. They're just not there yet. They still are pretty weak all around the infield. They're pitching too. But I think they will win more than way more than they did last year. Putting the Rockies in 5th place at 66 and 96, a little controversial for me. I feel like the Rockies are still a solid team. It depends on what happens with Trevor Story, but I don't feel like the Rockies are as bad as everyone else thinks they are. And yes, their pitching is weak, but I think C.J. Cron is a really good player. I think they can still put together a solid team. 66 and 96, I feel like is a little low for them. I think they'll perform right around that 70 to 80 range. And so that's what I think about these standings so far. Obviously, these are going to change after the lockout and right when spring training is about to start and when it ends. And so these things are going to be changing all around. But I think for right now, they put the Giants a little bit low, the Rockies a little bit low. I think the D-backs are fair right there. I think the Padres are pretty overhyped again. I think it's fair to put the Dodgers there. The Dodgers still have a great team. You can't deny it, but hopefully the Giants can overperform once again and go out and sign a couple guys after the lockout and perform really well with their upcoming stars like Joey Bart, Elliot Ramos, all these other AAA guys who could come up to the majors this year and make an impact, along with the guys who did really, really well in 2021. And so tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. I think these ones are a little kind of just rough around the edges just because the lockout's still in place. There's not a set roster, and spring training hasn't even started. So yes, these aren't like official, but putting the Giants that low, a little controversial for me, but we'll see what happens. And so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for a new SF Giants recap video.